And I bet many of you listening are curious about what those numbers on your lab results actually mean.
Oh, for sure.
Or maybe you're just looking to get a clearer picture of conditions like, say, diabetes or thyroid issues.
Yeah.
So our aim is to demystify these crucial diagnostic tools, helping you understand not just what they measure, but maybe more importantly, why it truly matters for your health.
Right, the why.
We'll explore body's primary fuel, glucose, and then venture into the broader endocrine system. We'll look at the thyroid, the parathyroid, the adrenal glands, along with some other vital hormones. It's really all about empowering you so you can be a more informed participant in your own well-being.
Absolutely. So we'll kick things off by exploring glucose, its intricate dance with key hormones, and the different types of diabetes that can pop up when that dance goes off kilter.
Right.
Then we'll arm you with a clearer understanding of the many, many powerful tests used to measure blood sugar.
There are quite a few.
There really are. After that, we'll pivot to the broader endocrine system, breaking down how glands like your thyroid, your parathyroid, and adrenals work, and what their specific tests reveal about your overall health.
It's all connected.
It really is. So settle in, because this is where we really start to unlock some profound insights. So let's start with the maybe unsung hero that fuels our entire incredible system, glucose.
The powerhouse.
Yeah, exactly. This simple sugar or monosaccharide, it's truly the body's primary source of cellular energy.
Can't function without it.
Right. It's not just fuel for your muscles. It's absolutely vital for critical organs like your brain, and your red blood cells need it to function properly.
It's essential.
Without glucose, these essential parts of you just, well, they can't do their job. So where do we actually get this stuff?
Good question. It's found naturally in fruits, obviously. And we absorb a lot of it from the carbohydrates we eat. You know, think whole grains, vegetables, other complex carbs.
Right.
And your liver also plays a really crucial role. It cleverly converts stored glycogen back into glucose whenever your body needs a quick energy boost.
Like a reserve tank.
Exactly like a reserve tank.
Yeah.
Glucose is the final usable product of carbohydrate breakdown in your digestive system, alongside fructose and galactose. These simple sugars are then absorbed efficiently in your small intestine, ready to be put to work.
Got it.
And any glucose your body doesn't immediately need for energy, it gets stored, primarily as glycogen, in your liver and muscle cells.
Makes sense.
And this whole storage mechanism is a testament to the body's remarkable precision regulatory system. It's constantly working to maintain blood glucose levels within a very narrow, very precise range.
Like a thermostat.
Exactly. Think of it as a finely tuned thermostat. It's a complex symphony of hormones working in perfect harmony, making sure your energy needs are met without ever having too much or, too little glucose floating around.
And when we talk about that symphony of hormones, we're really talking about the body's master communicators, aren't we?
We absolutely are. These chemical messengers play an essential role, not just in general bodily functions, but specifically in regulating how your body handles glucose.
Okay.
It's fascinating how they act. Some have a paracrine effect, so they influence nearby cells. Others have an autocrine effect, affecting the very cell that produced them.
Interesting.
But the classic way we think of them is endocrine, where they travel through your bloodstream to act on distant sites, sending signals all over your body.
Right, the long-distance messengers.
Precisely. And what's really key for our discussion today is how these hormones control the intricate processes of how your body uses and stores glucose. That's their main gig here.
Gotcha. So who are the main players in this glucose regulation game?
Well, when we consider glucose regulation, two hormones really stand out as the primary conductors: insulin and glucagon.
Okay, insulin first.
Yep. Insulin, secreted by the pancreatic beta cells, is the glucose decreaser. Its main job is to essentially open up your cells, allowing them to take up glucose from the bloodstream, thereby lowering blood glucose levels.
It lowers it, okay.
It also promotes glycogen synthesis, which is that process of storing excess glucose for later. Think of it like the key that unlocks your cells to let the energy in.
So insulin is the key, the decreaser. Then glucagon must be the opposite.
Exactly. Glucagon, secreted by the pancreatic alpha cells, is its direct antagonist, the glucose raiser.
Ah, the razor.
When your blood sugar drops too low, glucagon steps in like a swift problem solver. It elevates blood glucose by stimulating glycogenolysis, basically, breaking down your stored sugar reserves in the liver.
Right, releasing the reserves.
And it also kicks off gluconeogenesis.
Yeah.
That's your body's clever trick of making new glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, ensuring you always have enough fuel.
Wow, so it can make glucose from other things too.
It can. It's a remarkable built-in emergency backup system.
That's incredible.
And beyond these two primary players, it's important to remember that other hormones can also significantly influence glucose metabolism, usually by increasing blood glucose levels.
Okay, like what?
These include thyroxine, which is a thyroid hormone, somatostatin, and cortisol are well-known stress hormone.
Ah, cortisol. Makes sense.
Epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, growth hormone, GH, and even human placental lactogen, which is particularly relevant during pregnancy. All of these can contribute to elevated blood sugar.
So it's not just insulin and glucagon.
Not at all.
Yep.
While they're the main regulators, a whole orchestra of other hormones can chime in and, alter the tune, often in response to stress or other physiological demand.
Okay, so we've heard about this beautifully balanced system, but what happens when that finely tuned system goes, well, out of whack?
Right, when the balance tips.
We're talking about hyperglycemia or high blood sugar and hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. Let's start with high sugar hyperglycemia. When plasma glucose levels go above certain thresholds, that's always a serious indicator, right?
Absolutely. It often points to conditions like diabetes mellitus, of course.
The obvious one.
But it can also be triggered by things like acute stress, Cushing's syndrome, chronic renal failure, or even certain medications like diuretics or corticosteroids.
Okay. And what are the signs? How does your body tell you something's wrong?
Well, what's often missed is that the symptoms of hyperglycemia aren't just annoying. They're your body's alarm system trying desperately to get your attention.
Like warning lights.
Exactly. If you're experiencing increased thirst, frequent urination, maybe unexplained weight loss, blurred vision, or just feeling really lethargic, these are all crucial signals.
Increased thirst and urination seem common.
They are. And here's a fascinating detail. When your blood glucose levels get so high that they actually exceed your kidney's ability to reabsorb it all, we call that the renal threshold, typically around 180, 200 milli-GDL.
Okay.
Glucose literally spills into your urine. This is known as glycosuria.
So sugar in the urine.
Yep. It's your kidneys desperately trying to flush out the excess sugar, and that process pulls water along with it, which then directly leads to that increased urination and the subsequent thirst as your body tries to rehydrate.
Wow, okay. That makes sense. Now, on the flip side, we have hypoglycemia or low blood sugar.
Right. The other end of the spectrum. This is generally defined as a plasma glucose level below 3 millimole, which is roughly 54 milli-GDL.
Pretty low.
It is. And actually, some experts suggest considering treatment even below 4 millimole or 72 millimole or 72 milli-GDL, partly because finger prick measurements can sometimes be a bit inaccurate.
Ah, okay. Better safe than sorry. What causes low blood sugar?
It can stem from various conditions. Things like insulinoma, that's a rare tumor that produces too much insulin.
Okay.
Hypothyroidism, Addison's disease, severe liver disease, maybe an overdose of insulin medication, or even just prolonged starvation.
And the symptoms for low sugar, are they different?
They can be quite diverse and, frankly, alarming. Things like sweating, anxiety, intense hunger, tremors, palpitations, dizziness, confusion.
Wow.
And in severe cases, it can even lead to seizures or coma.
That's serious.
Absolutely. Both hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia are clear signals that your body's glucose regulation system is under significant strain and definitely requires attention.
Now, let's tackle something that often causes confusion. The diabetes duo.
Ah, yes, the naming issue.
Right. Many people hear the word diabetes and immediately think of blood sugar. But there are actually two very distinct conditions with similar sounding names. Diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus.
Very different conditions.
What's truly confusing is that both often present with excessive urination, or polyuria, and that increased thirst, polydipsia.
Shared symptoms, completely different causes.
Exactly. So their underlying causes and their metabolic effects are vastly different. Let's clarify.
That's a crucial distinction to make. Diabetes mellitus, or DM, is the one most people are familiar with. It's fundamentally a metabolic derangement.
Okay.
It's characterized by chronically high blood glucose levels, hyperglycemia. And this happens because of either a lack of insulin or a reduced effectiveness of the insulin your body does produce.
Right. The insulin isn't working properly or isn't there.
Precisely. And it's an alarmingly prevalent condition, one of the most common diseases in the developed world, unfortunately.
Yeah, you hear about it all the time.
The real long-term danger lies in that sustained high blood glucose. can progressively damage vital organs, kidneys, nerves, eyes, blood vessels.
Serious consequences.
Very serious. This leads to what we call microvascular problems, like retinopathy affecting the eyes, nephropathy affecting the kidneys, and neuropathy affecting the nerves.
Small vessels.
Small blood vessels, exactly. And it also contributes to macrovascular problems, issues with the larger blood vessels, including stroke, heart attacks, and problems with blood flow to the limbs.
Wow. Okay, so within diabetes mellitus, there are different types.
Right. Let's start with type 1 diabetes mellitus, or T1DM. This is an autoimmune disease.
Autoimmune. So the body attacks itself.
Exactly. Your body's immune system mistakenly attacks and destroys the pancreatic beta cells, the ones that make insulin.
Huh?
This leads to an absolute insulin deficiency.
Total lack of insulin.
Total lack. It typically has an acute onset, often striking individuals before age 25, and patients are entirely dependent on injected insulin to prevent serious complications like ketosis. It's basically a complete system failure of insulin production.
Okay, that's type 1. What about type 2?
Then there's type 2 diabetes mellitus, T2DM, which is by far the most common type.
Right.
Here, the problem isn't usually an absolute lack of insulin, at least not initially. It's more about insulin resistance in peripheral tissues.
Resistance, meaning the cells don't respond.
Exactly. Your cells aren't responding properly to the insulin your body is making. This can also be coupled with a defect in the pancreatic beta cell's ability to secrete enough insulin to overcome that resistance.
So the key isn't working well, or there aren't enough keys.
Good way to put it. T2DM is strongly associated with lifestyle factors like obesity, lack of exercise, excessive calorie intake. Traditionally, it was seen in people over 40, but alarmingly, we're seeing it more and more in obese youth.
That is alarming.
And patients with T2DM can have low, normal, or even high insulin levels initially, reflecting the body's struggle to manage glucose against that resistance.
Okay, so type 1 is autoimmune lack of insulin, type 2 is resistance, and or not enough insulin secretion. What else?
We also have gestational diabetes mellitus, or GDM.
During pregnancy.
Exactly. This is glucose intolerance that originates or is first recognized during pregnancy. It's often due to placental hormones, like placental lactogen, inhibiting insulin action.
The placenta interferes.
It can, yes. Screening for GDM is typically done between 24 and 28 weeks of gestation, and it carries significant risks for both the mother, things like preeclampsia, preterm labor, and the fetus, like congenital malformations or macrosomia.
Macrosomia, that's a large baby.
Yes, a larger than average baby, which can complicate delivery.
Right. Are there other types?
There's also malnutrition-related diabetes mellitus, or MRDM, sometimes called type 5.
I've never heard of that one.
It's linked to chronic undernutrition and poverty, mainly affecting young people in developing countries. The cause isn't fully understood, but it's thought to stem from pancreatic damage, especially due to severe protein deficiency.
So, malnutrition damages the pancreas.
That's the leading theory. What sets it apart is that it's not autoimmune like type 1, nor is it associated with obesity like type 2. It's a distinct condition, really highlighting the complex link between nutrition and metabolic health.
Fascinating and sad. Okay, so that covers diabetes mellitus. Now, what about the other one, diabetes insipidus?
Right, diabetes insipidus, or DI. This is a completely different beast. It's a condition characterized by the passage of large volumes of very dilute urine.
Dilute urine, like mostly water.
Exactly. And this happens because of impaired water reabsorption by the kidneys.
Okay, why?
It's due to either reduced antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, secretion from the posterior pituitary gland, or an impaired kidney response to ADH.
So either the signal ADH is missing, or the kidneys aren't listening to the signal.
Precisely. We categorize it into two main types: cranial or neurogenic DI, which is due to reduced ADH secretion,
The signal problem.
and nephrogenic DI,
Yeah.
where the kidneys simply don't respond properly to the ADH that is there.
The listening problem.
You got it.
So what's the absolute critical difference here between mellitus and insipidus? Both cause thirst and urination.
The critical difference really comes down to what's driving that excessive urination.
Right.
In diabetes mellitus, the high urine output is a direct consequence of high blood glucose levels.
The sugar spillover.
Right. The glucose spills into the urine, taking water with it, that osmotic diuresis. In stark contrast, in diabetes insipidus, the high urine output is purely due to problems with ADH regulation or the kidney's response to it.
No sugar involved.
No sugar involved.
Yeah.
It leads to the excretion of large volumes of dilute urine without the glucose factor. So, like you said earlier, one is fundamentally a sugar problem, the other is a water balance problem.
Got it. Mellitus equals sugar. Insipidus equals water ADH. That clears things up. Okay,